Next, from Springfield, Republican Congressman Mark Kirk announces his run for the United States Senate. Representative Kirk is first introduced by Republican leaders Tom Cross and Christine Radogno. We'll also hear from former Governor Jim Edgar. This runs about 20 minutes.
I want to say thanks to Randy Pollard and thank you all for being here today. And this is an exciting day for Illinois government and, of course, Republicans in general, but more specifically for Illinois government. And I've known Mark Kirk for a number of years, and he has been a leader in this state, not only as a member of Congress and in the district he represents, but he has been a good friend to people around the state of Illinois with ideas and suggestions for legislation on how we can make this a better state beyond the congressional district that he represents. And what I think is important about being here today and his candidacy, and something that we need to talk about over the next few months and the next year and a half throughout this election, is that we have a concept of public service when we run for office as state representatives or members of Congress or for governor. And it is good when people decide to run for public office, and we have many good people that run for public office. But Mark has taken the concept of public service to a different level. And those of you in the military have that understanding because of the time and the commitment you've given to this state and to this country. But when you are a member of Congress, that's a good thing. But when you're a member of Congress and you also serve in the United States Navy in the capacity Mark does, that puts you head and shoulders above so many other people that want to run for public office. So when you couple that with his expertise and knowledge of foreign policy and the federal budget and ethics above so many other people, you have the ingredients of an incredible candidate for the United States Senate. And when Mark called me some time ago and said, I'm thinking about running for the United States Senate, I said, I think it's the best thing that could happen to this state. Tell me what I can do to support you, because I want to be there from day one, and that's why we're here today. That's why we were in Chicago yesterday. This is an individual and a man that can run well and can win in the state of Illinois, and if you're a Republican, that's a good thing. If you're an independent, that's a good thing. If you're a Democrat, I suggest to you that that's a good thing, because he has the capacity to represent all of us. Somebody that knows a little bit also about public service, who's doing an excellent job in the state Senate, leading a strong caucus, and is doing many good things to distinguish her caucus from the Democrats, is Christine Radogno, who is also here today. And with a great deal of pleasure, I'd like to welcome and thank Christine for her leadership in the Illinois State Senate. So Christine, thank you.
Well, thanks. It's great to be back here in Springfield and see so many friends. It's been a whole 5 days since we last left. But this is a much happier occasion to be back here for. Today, we get to be part of the rollout of the campaign for someone that's going to excite people all across the state of Illinois, who can actually win the U.S. Senate and will be an asset to our state. He's a wonderful guy. He is intelligent. He is knowledgeable on the issues that are pertinent to the U.S. Senate, and that will probably distinguish him from his opponent, whoever that might be. He has a proven record of service in the military as well as in the United States Congress. So he's someone that we can really get behind and be proud to support. So I'm thrilled to be part of this campaign, and I'm going to be doing everything I possibly can to make sure that he wins, and going to be asking all of you to put forth that kind of effort as well. And now I get to introduce someone to you that all of you are very familiar with, someone else who's been out of Springfield for a little while but is a very important person, and that is our former Governor, Jim Edgar.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Senator. It's indeed my pleasure to be here today. And the reason, it's always good to be in Springfield, but it's especially good to be here today because, as I said yesterday when I had the honor to introduce Congressman Kirk at his announcement, this is a great day for the state of Illinois, because this today and yesterday and what we're about here is to begin to change the image of Illinois politics. I don't have to tell you the image of Illinois politics is pretty bad. And it's time, long overdue, that we reverse that image. And we have in Mark Kirk the kind of person that I think we all can feel very good about. Someone who has not only served well but he's also proven to be a person of high integrity. And that's the type of individual we want representing Illinois in our nation's capital. That's the type of image we want people around the country, around the world to think of when they think of Illinois. Now, I was excited when Mark called and said, I'm going to run, and I was happy to drop what I was doing in Colorado with Brenda. She stayed there with the dog, and I came back for this announcement. I have been a strong advocate of Mark running for the Senate for many, many months. I can't think of anyone better prepared to go into the United States Senate from Illinois than Mark Kirk. He's now served almost a decade in the House of Representatives, and he is truly one of the outstanding leaders when it comes to national security. And while I know a lot of our focus now is on the economy, which I think he also understands and can help get this nation back on track, but we can't forget that we are part of a very dangerous world, and there's a lot of folks out there who don't like us. And Mark Kirk can bring to the U.S. Senate a real understanding of what it takes to keep America strong and safe. Now, he also is someone who understands that you can't spend money you don't have, that there's a need that we get our budget back in control, that we just can't spend our way out of all of our challenges. And I think someone with some fiscal integrity is long overdue in our nation's capital, in the U.S. Senate. Now, I suspect that the vast majority here are Republicans. And let me just for a moment speak a little Republican politics. I'm sure there are a lot of good people who would like to be the United States Senator from Illinois. There's very few who can win the election in November. And I have been in too many campaigns where the top of the ticket didn't have a chance, and it affected the rest of the ticket. This year, this campaign, we have an opportunity to have a candidate for U.S. Senate who can win in November and win decisively, and not only go to Washington, but bring along a lot of other Republicans on Election Day. And that's another reason that Mark Kirk needs to be the person that we nominate and see elected to the United States Senate. Now, last, there might even be a few independents and what I call thoughtful Democrats in the audience, or perhaps in the viewing land. Mark Kirk is your candidate. Mark Kirk has demonstrated now for almost 10 years as a congressman in a district that is predominantly Democratic. But he's demonstrated that he can work with Republicans, Democrats, and independents, that he understands that you have to represent all people to do your job effectively. And again, that's the type of U.S. Senator we need. And I might also suggest to any Democrat, you might say, well, I want a Democrat. We already got a Democrat U.S. Senator. His name's Dick Durbin. Whether you like him or not, he's got a lot of power. We don't need another Democrat. We need somebody in that Republican caucus. We need somebody to provide a balance. And again, that's a good reason to